Hi everyone, a little break in my travels to help you understand two elements I've been talking about, planetary soul matrix and planetary hives. What is the difference between the both? Well, first, let's take the concept of the planetary soul matrix. As I explained to you recently, a planetary soul matrix is an etheric sphere of consciousness within which all souls, all sentient is-be consciousness that has fractal from source is going to undergo a development, an evolution throughout incarnating through different realms of existence, of matter, of species, of elements. Such as on Earth, we have fractals of source incarnating into very tiny microcells, and then through plant life, having passed by the step of mineral life, and then it is going to incarnate after the plant life, the organic life, into slowly the animal realm, the flesh realm, and until it reaches enough maturity of consciousness that it can incarnate into human consciousness, human body. And then this human body will go through evolutions of incarnations, and these incarnations will lead to, at one stage, a level of development in consciousness mature enough that you can have the choice. You always have the choice, but then the ability and the possibility to incarnate into another planetary matrix on another world. But before that, you need to go through all the stages of evolution, of development of consciousness to mature into that level. This works for everything in the universe. Any type of life, it can be sulfuric acid life, it can be carbon-based life, it can be silicon-based life, it can be other life form based on different elements that we don't even know about in this multiverse. That's a planetary soul matrix or matrix. Now, what is the difference with the planetary hive? Well, a planetary hive is also a planetary soul matrix, has also that, but it's something different. A planetary hive is something that is going to interface all consciousness of a certain species, or even on certain planets, the whole web of existence, a live, living existence, into an interface consciousness. And the hive has a queen, or a central, it's not always called a queen, as we name it on Earth, but I will more particularly name it a central consciousness, a central core, hive core consciousness. This concerns species such as most of the species of greys, what we call greys. These ones are like insectoids. They are all the greys who are insectoid based. Also, it works for a reptiloid gray based. Okay, gray is a species. Insectoid based, it's the genetics, or reptiloid based, it's gonna be a gray that is based on a reptiloid genetic, or insectoid genetic, or even sometimes a human genetic. But the human genetics, the human consciousness, is not interfaced with any hive, and is not possible to be interfaced with a hive consciousness. Let's go back to the planetary hive. On a planetary hive, you have two options. Either the whole planet, like in the famous movie Avatar, is interfaced, but that would be more an interfaced consciousness, global consciousness. A hive, it's like there's one that thinks for everyone, and everyone acts like robots. That's the Borg in Star Trek. A planetary hive, it's everything interfaced with one central queen or central core consciousness. There are three different types of planetary soul matrices. There's the first one that I mentioned, the soul matrix, such as on Earth, where all consciousnesses are individuated. They are connected to the great web of life. Of course, we are connected to the great consciousness of the planet we are incarnated into, the soul matrix we are incarnated into temporarily. But we keep our individual consciousness. We are our own thinker, our own decision maker. That is what is peculiar to human and many other species also. That's an individuated planetary matrix. Now you have interfaced, so individuated. Now we have interfaced planetary matrix. Interface means is the step between individuated consciousness, Earth, and hive. It's in between. That means that every element on this planet will have their own consciousness, will be individuated, like the first one, but the difference is that everyone will be attuned to each other. Usually it can work with either the whole planet and all living forms on it, or either one species among themselves, them functioning as hives. So what happens? Imagine one species is in interfaced planetary consciousness. That means that you are individuated, you are your own thinker, but you are interfaced. That means you are in telepathic attunement and energetic attunement with all of the others of the same species who live in on that planet. You, for instance, if you suffer a lot, the whole web is going to feel it. When you leave, when you are in this individuated consciousness soul matrix, when you leave you leave physically your planet, you are going to travel into space. You leave, you get away at a certain distance. When you get away from your interface consciousness planetary matrix, you are going to disconnect from it after a certain distance, because each planet has its field of consciousness. So you're going to go on your own, not connect to anything. If you go in space on this travel with a group of friends, like you're 10 people, 10 friends, well, suddenly you reform instantly. As soon as you leave your field of consciousness of your planet, you're going to naturally recompose a micro interface consciousness group with your pals on your ship. When it's about a fleet, well, the field of consciousness is bigger. And now I'm mentioning the seeders who arrived in our star system. All their interface consciousness were so powerful because there were 500 motherships plus so many other scout ships each. They activated anything that was DNA linked into this star system. That's another story. Let's go back. Earth type, individuated planetary soul matrix, where everyone is on his own consciousness, but can attune to the web of life on the planet. But it's individual, Earth type, individuated planetary soul matrix consciousness. Number 2, interfaced consciousness. Everyone on the planet has their individuated consciousness and soul as type 1, but in this case they are interfaced. That means they have the same heartbeat, they have more telepathy going on together, and they are all like one, but it's not a hive because they're all individuals consciousness. Type 2, individuated soul matrix. Number 3, type 3, hive. There is no individuated consciousness. All are, there is a slight basic individuated consciousness, which is not individuated properly speaking, because you're not cut from the hive. You cannot take your own decisions. But if you take your own decisions, it's always in accordance if it resonates with the hive. If you want to leave the hive, you can't. You're terminated. You don't even think about that. The hive is everything for you. It's your living. It's it's everything. It's like, that's it. Yeah, you're part of it. For you die for it. For never in the universe would you want even think about leaving it. You protect it with your life. That's a hive. You protect the queen. And that's what I want to mention, the queen, the central core consciousness of a hive. The queen decides for everyone and centralizes everyone, and she has power on everyone, of termination, of life, of everything. If she thinks that this little gray on planet YXZ is suitable for going and perform a murder of an ambassador, I'm making up stories, she'll send a signal to this little gray on planet XYZ, and suddenly the gray, and is going to kill the person. That's what a hive does. And have you seen the flocks of birds flying in the sky and changing directions? That's like a hive. They're all coordinated. They're one consciousness for everyone. I mean, it's instant. It's quantum. Type 1, type 2, type 3, all of them have a planetary soul matrix. At these differences, type 1, earth type, individual consciousness. Type 2, like the Altians, for instance, interfaced consciousness, attuned to each other, but still individual consciousness. Type 3, hive, like the Greys. No individual consciousness, but one central core consciousness controlling every other one. So I hope it helps, and don't hesitate to watch this video again. It's a great tool to understand what's happening in the galaxy at the moment. You need this tool. Okay, going back to my travels, and talk to you soon.